I am 44 years, 11 months, and 11 days old, and I am coming out again. This time alone, in front of my Boulder townhouse bathroom mirror, holding a pair of barber shears poised at the base of one waist-long lock. And I'm thrown back 15 years to when I had my locks first installed, to the voice of our family stylist, Ruthie, who tells me, now look, these are locks, and you store energy in your hair. Don't let just anybody go playing in your hair, because you'll hold on to everything they're going through. And that was familiar, because it reminded me so much of lessons that I had learned sitting between the knees of my mother from 0 to 12 as we engaged in our bi-weekly gender confirmation ritual. Although today I stand before you as a 46-year-old Black non-binary femme, I was born in 1975 in the Cincinnati, Ohio housing projects, which meant I was functionally socialized to be a little Black girl in the projects. Not just any little Black girl, but the first and only girl of the first girl of a family who was temporarily down on their luck, but never intended to be part of the intergenerational cycle of poverty. We were middle class in everything but access to resources. And so it didn't really matter quite as much whether there were social workers who were going to poke in on our lives. We were going to be ready for inspection at any given time. We were prepared. And the bi-weekly demo and rebuilding of the hairstyle had a lot to do with it. It was an elaborate ritual. First, take the aluminum foil off the bottom of the braid, take off the beads, undo the three-stranded twists, and into the sink. Wash rag over your eyes so the shampoo doesn't get in and sting them, because who has time to hear you hollering and wailing? Your hair is already thick and we're gonna be at this all day. I'm trying to get done before dinner. Blow dry the wet strands into a thick bouffant. My brother's running around calling me monster because we are in the most vulnerable time during this cocooning process. This is disrespectful, disreputable, wild hair. There are kitchens and kinks and naps to be blown out. And I sit in front of the knees of my mother with the tools and the implements of the demoing and rebuilding of the bi-weekly hairdo in front of me, like the console of the USS Enterprise. You see, Jennifer was Captain Kirk. As a single parent, she had paid the cost to be the boss, and I was Spock, her stoic and observant lieutenant, ready to hand over any of the implements at the ready. Make it so, number 2. I'm an obedience student. And so I observe as we put the hairdo back together, her hands are so talented. I don't know how she makes the beehives, the cornrows, the updos, the downdos, all out of her head. There was no pattern, there was no template, there was nobody to show her how to do it. She had a daughter and she had to present them respectably, and so that is what she did. We were prepared. I'm remembering these lessons later in 2008 as I prepare to go to graduate school. My quest for preparation takes me to San Francisco to study sexuality for 6 weeks. And across that time, the binaries of brick and gender and everything Cincinnati falls away, releasing a wonderful rainbow spectrum of gender creativity. I am introduced to beautiful and generous-hearted transformistas who tell me harrowing tales of crossing borders to find much-needed, life-saving, gender-affirming drugs. I go to the gay beach at Dolores Park, and we buy weed truffles from the man walking with his bronzed back through the summer days. And I sit looking beseechingly out into the Lexington bar, watching these wonderfully beautiful androgynous women completely ignore that I'm trying to come out here, and don't y'all know that I'm family? Life lived in the binaries is costly. And going from lieutenant to general is more than a notion, and is certainly as transgressive as any of these gender creatives' journeys that I have met. Over the years, in building a life in Boulder, layers upon layers of heteronormativity and cisgenderitude fall away. I eventually come out to my mother. I still don't think she fully understands the whole non-binary thing, but today she sends me colorful rainbow masks to protect me from COVID. And rainbow shirts that say Ohio, that proclaim both my gender identity and my foundation in a family and matrilineal lineage that may not understand me, but knows that I have taken in their lessons. And so that brings me back to my first solo big chop. I have no permission, I have no template, I have no guidelines, and I have no one telling me what respectable is. But it is now my time to go from Spock to being my own captain. It is time for me to claim the console of my own USS Enterprise. Live long and prosper.